Now this, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know about this. I don't know if this is true. And if this is true, if this poll is accurate, I don't really know what it indicates, all right? But Donald Trump, Orange J Man, is in trouble. Republican support for his 24 bid falls amid political and legal setbacks. This is in USA Today, Republican support for Donald Trump's presidential bid in 24 has cratered, an exclusive USA Today Suffolk University poll finds, as the former president is beleaguered by midterm losses and courtroom setbacks. By 2-1, GOP and GOP-leaning voters now say they want Trump's policies, but a different standard bearer to carry them. While 31% want the former president to run, 61% prefer some other Republican nominee who would continue the policies Trump has pursued. Now, again, this is why this poll is, my opinion, not being represented well. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand, Republicans, we're talking about the voters here, not the politicians, although the politicians it also applies, but I'm specifically talking about the voters. Republican voters are fucking stupid. They're fucking dumb. They can't think for themselves. They're zombies. They're sheep. They're fucking morons, right? So when the debates start to happen and Ron DeSantis squirms like a little fucking eel, right? And then everyone else cries and whines on the debate stage and Donald Trump is looking around like, you know, when he does that weird head twisting thing, right? They're all gonna fall in line for this guy, right? So, like, these polls don't mean anything, right, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm interested, right? And it's also the way that they asked it, right? They want someone who would continue the policies. What does that mean? Now, again, policies don't exist for these people. They don't know anything about policy. You ask them about policy, they'll say like, "Oh, build the wall." So they don't know what the fuck that means, right? But what they do know. What that means to Republicans is they don't want any rhinos. No Mike Pence motherfuckers, you know. Anyone that believes that the 2020 election, you know, was fine. There was no problem with it. Anyone who believes that, they're gone. That's what the policy is. The policy in this case is just a big lie. So, right? So you would need a DeSantis character, but DeSantis is not going to run against Trump and win. That's the thing. Name one somewhat Trump-aligned guy that's going to run against Donald Trump and win. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. The only people that would run against him in any way that could possibly let them win are anti-Trump guys, and they're not going to win regardless, right? So there you go. They have a name in mind. 2/3 of Republicans and those inclined to vote Republican want Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to run for president. By double digits, 56-33, they say they prefer DeSantis over Trump. Now, again, they're still going to vote for Donald Trump. And think about it. Is DeSantis going to win in a debate against Donald Trump? Donald Trump is running, all right? Now, again, I'm not even sure Ron DeSantis is even going to run in 24. I think he's that fucking scared. That's my opinion. What does Ron DeSantis, think about it from his perspective, what does he have to gain by running in 2024 instead of 2028? Is Donald Trump really going to run again in 2028? Right? Ron DeSantis is young. Right? He can have his cake and eat it too if he runs in 2028. Right? He doesn't have to worry about bowing out of his governor's seat. Right? He has like 4 more years at least until 26, right? Of just like crying and getting in the headlines all the time. So my opinion is that this whole Trump versus DeSantis thing, it's all made up. There is no universe where Donald Trump and DeSantis actually have a head-to-head and the voters are like, whoa, we don't know who to support. That's not going to happen. All right? Because these are Republicans, and Republicans are fucking cucks to power. Right? They just, who's more powerful? Who's got the bigger yelling voice? Who's got the bigger yelling voice? Oh, Donald Trump, look at the way he screams. Oh, yes, scream at me, Donald. That's these motherfuckers, right? So, and Ron DeSantis, have you seen Ron DeSantis's like debate performance? This guy is like a little scared puppy, right? Like, you know, he was debating some loser fucking former Republican Democrat and he still lost the debate. Now, again, he won the election, obviously, because Floridians are fucking stupid, right? But again, like, he had a layup debate opponent and he still got trounced, you know? So it's like, when you've got like fucking literally the physical incarnation of like Wonder Bread as your opponent, right? Who says nothing of anything. Oh, I'm a Democrat, like, but they were a Republican 5 minutes ago, right? And you fail in a debate against that guy. How are you going to go up against the machine powerhouse Donald Trump? You're going to lose, and it's going to be badly, right? So I think Ron DeSantis is aware of that, and that's why I think he won't run against Donald Trump. That's my opinion, though I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. The findings are a red flag for Trump, whose core support has held remarkably solid through firestorms over his personal behavior, provocative rhetoric, and his most controversial actions in the White House, but he has become increasingly embattled over his role in fueling the Jan 6 assault on the Capitol, his alleged mishandling of sensitive documents when he left the White House, and investigations into efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Some Republican strategists blame Trump and his influence for the GOP's failure to win control of the Senate in November. Candidates he helped recruit and support in Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania lost races, and that independent analysts thought might have been won by a more traditional candidate. The poll of 1,000 registered voters taken by landline and cell phone Wednesday through Sunday has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.1 percentage points. The sample of 374 Republicans and independents who lean to the Republican Party has an error margin of 5.1 points. So again, I mean, this is not a great poll. The way they asked it is super vague. You know, this is a push poll where they just try to get the result that they want by like phrasing things and asking people questions in a really strange way. You know, on that, just so that they can get the headline that they want. Nathan Brown, Molotov, thank you for the coolness. I appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you. Biden's lead widens over Trump in a head-to-head race. Enthusiasm for Trump's third bid for the White House within the GOP has significantly ebbed in recent months. In July, 60% of Republicans wanted Trump to run again. In October, the number has dipped to 56. Now it has fallen to 47, and almost even split with the 45 who don't want him to run for a third time. Now, again, these polls don't mean anything. Why? Because if he runs, they're going to support him regardless. The only way that this poll would mean anything at all is if you asked, if Donald Trump runs and wins the nomination, will you refuse to support him? Because I guarantee you, the answer would be 100% that they would support him if he wins, right? The idea that, oh, Donald Trump's going to steamroll the primary, become the nominee, and then they're going to, out of principle, not vote for him because they think he's bad for the party or whatever. That's not, like, again, it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. You can't really poll this question. I mean, ultimately, that's the thing, is you can't really poll this question. But anyway, the gap between Biden and whatever is, there you go. So, you know, I just think that kind of stuff is overblown, so I wanted to talk about it.